All right, guys, just got back from Moab, Utah. Absolutely stunning if you've never been there. Oh my gosh, guys. Listen, living the life of your dreams, that's what this channel is all about. And today's conversation is extremely exciting. I didn't plan on sharing this with you yet, but I just got off the phone with JP Morgan. Let me clarify, not JP himself, but Catherine with JP Morgan Chase Bank. And Chase had some great news for me in that we have now locked down yet another debt weapon. I want to share this with you because this story, I think, really portrays a lot of the ins and outs that go into the decision-making behind debt weapons. And this is going to be very useful for you as you grow your portfolio. Now, to start things off, if you're new to the channel, we use tools that we call debt weapons to grow our cash flow. Virtually any tool that allows us to modify how we handle our finances in order to have more money left over at the end of every month is what we would call a debt weapon. And today's debt weapon is an unsecured business line of credit. Now, we got this $50,000 by putting in a lot of forethought, and we've been planning it now for almost 15 months. So let's kind of walk you through that process. I think it's going to be interesting for you to see just how strategic we've been with this and why we now ended up with a tool that we expect will make us millions of dollars. Back in December of 2016, we began to recognize that there was some success that was taking place with one of the projects that we had been working on. And we believed that with some attention and making some investments into staff, into some systems, into technology, we would be able to grow the project and the results quite significantly. So we made, a somewhat nerve-wracking decision to invest somewhere around a $10,000 per month each month, and sometimes it was more and sometimes it was less, but it came out to about $120,000 over the course of 2017 into this project. We knew we wanted to use debt weapons to do it, and the idea of using debt weapons to grow wealth is a lot like what you would learn through the philosophies taught by Robert Kiyosaki in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, which is a belief that you can use these various tools to leverage yourself into a more efficient outcome. And we like using other people's money to create wealth. It creates a infinite return on investment when you do it that way. When it's not your own money, but you're creating huge growth, that ROI is considered infinite. So here we are throughout the year, we're spending money, managing our cash flow well, we're borrowing through the debt weapons, we're paying them off as we're growing our income in a short period of time. And come the summer, we stumbled into an opportunity to grow access to 2 new credit card accounts, which would provide a 0% introductory period for a period of 15 months. That sounded appealing. Now, most of the 0% credit card accounts that are offered have a balance transfer fee associated with them. It can be as much as 5%. Most commonly, it's more like 3%. When we stumbled into these 2 accounts, one was a Bank of America credit card, the other was a Barclays account, we realized that we could get these accounts with $0 balance transfer costs, which meant that we could take virtually the entire amount that was offered to us, which at the time was $35,000, and we could basically max these accounts out, and it would be the same as getting free money. And so we went ahead and did that. Now, making that decision took a lot of strategy. It took a lot of sets of eyes. It took mentors of mine to help make that decision, because we knew going into it that it was going to be extremely costly from a credit scoring standpoint, and we got exactly what we expected. In fact, let's take a look at a quick graph from my Credit Karma account. Credit Karma is a free service that provides you access to your credit data. They do rely on what's called the Vantage 3.0, Vantage Score 3.0 formula, which is an algorithm that basically nobody cares about. Okay, 90% of banks look at your FICO scores, so your Vantage Score 3.0 in some ways is considered useless, but it will at least give you an idea as to where your scores are. If we're sitting with a Vantage score right now of 817, that is what they would consider to be excellent. A FICO credit score is likely going to also be excellent. They're not going to be so far different where even if it was 50 points, for instance, we'd still be at a 767 FICO credit score, which anything above a 740 and you're considered the best type of borrower that exists. You can see here, based on the pattern of activity that back in August of 2017, the scores dropped by roughly 100 points by simply making that one decision to put the $35,000 on those personal credit cards versus business credit cards. Business credit cards could have provided me the same 0% benefit, but for a shorter period of time. And although they don't report to my personal credit report, I would have had a balance transfer fee associated with that. A 5% balance transfer fee on $35,000 could have come out to over $1,700, which I was obviously interested in avoiding. So we went ahead and just took the leap, lost the credit scores, and that was totally okay. Now, why would that be okay if we're worried about our credit being optimized? Because I wasn't using my credit for that 5 or 6 month period of time. The strategy was to get this $50,000 business line of credit starting Q1 of 2018, which meant I had 5, 6, 7 months where I could take advantage of this really great interest rate and basically free money, which is what we did. So we allowed that payment to remain at the minimum every month. We paid it off very, very slowly. And then come December, as we were planning to get access to this new tool and wrap up our taxes for 2017, we went ahead and through the paycheck parking and cash flow stacking techniques, paid these two accounts off in full. Zero. Now, once they got paid in full, you can see again, according to the graph, we've got a jump from even just the February of 2018 point, February 1st of 2018, the scores had increased back from a 702 in January to a 732. And then by February 8th, 1 week later, all the way back up to an 807. And here we are today in March at an 817. So this was all strategically done. We managed this proactively this way. And as we come into 2018 and walk into Chase Bank, we then learn that they're only willing to lend $110,000 total to this specific business, which meant that of $69,000 of credit cards, we would only be able to access a $41,000 sum from the total of $50,000 that they max out on this specific product. We didn't want to shortchange ourselves $9,000 if we could avoid it. So we made one quick phone call. Again, we huddled up, we created a game plan, and after that call, we had reduced our $69,000 worth of credit card availability through that business, through Chase, down to just $60,000. We actually called and had them reduce the limit on those accounts. Now, normally that wouldn't be recommended because having access to more credit is always favorable, but having access to the best types of credit is even better. So instead of wasting availability on $69,000 worth of credit card limits that we don't need, we're only using maybe as much as $15,000 off of one of those credit cards at any given month, and it's getting paid to zero before the due date every single month. So there's no purpose in having that large amount available to us. It would be better for us to have total liquidity through a different type of debt weapon account, this unsecured business line of credit account. So we go ahead and we reduce the availability on those credit cards, and then we submit the application. I just got my phone call. It's been only 1 week. We have a firm clear to close. They're mailing us over the forms and we'll sign them, send them back in. And by this time next week, we should have all the cash available to us, meaning that this particular type of account, I can take all $50,000 and put it into a checking or a savings account, and I can use it for absolutely any reason at all. That transfer can happen instantaneously. I can go onto my mobile device and make the transfer myself at any point in time, which means that if an opportunity comes up to say buy an inexpensive house, I could literally go out and buy a house with cash for $50,000. Or let's say I want to buy a $250,000 investment property, but I need 20% down. I have $50,000 available to me. Or let's say, for instance, I want to buy a $150,000 rental property and it needs $20,000 worth of work. I can take $30,000 from the account to use as a down payment, and I still have $20,000 left over to make the repairs. Let's say that I have another opportunity to grow my business. Perhaps I could do that. My friend, take a look at these results. In just the last year, we managed to grow our business by a 206% increase. This particular business where we were doing affiliate marketing and so forth, the one that we chose to invest $120,000 into last year, is now producing for us over $100,000 each and every month. We've got a $302,000 total revenue generated on this business, of which almost 75% of it is profit. You can see here, that's just in this year alone, year to date. And with a 206% increase, perhaps that $50,000 would give me the opportunity to do the exact same thing over again, so that come 2019, we're seeing these numbers at twice the size once again. Would I spend another $120,000 this year on people who know more things than me, on technology that helps me streamline, on products or systems or processes that will allow me to implement something like this, as opposed to recreating the wheel so that I could earn $600,000 in 3 months? You bet I would. And this is why debt weapons are so incredibly important. At this particular time, that $50,000 has no purpose. It will sit and wait for a job. But we do know that there are changes on the horizon. We know that the economy is going to be fluctuating, and we know that there will be many new opportunities that open up. So we're certainly not interested in sitting on the sidelines and not having access to the tools necessary to take advantage of that when it happens. And that's the purpose of this channel. If you're new here, my name is Matthew Pillmore. I'm the president of a company that helps people one-on-one by coaching them on how to achieve these steps. It's a slow, gradual process. The first year of this specific business, we didn't make any money. Are you committed to doing something for an entire year and not making any money so that you can eventually earn $1.2, $1.3 million a year? What if you could earn $5 million a year? Would you be willing to commit a year up front without making money? Not everybody is. So this channel is not going to be for everybody. And if it's not for you, that's okay. We wish you the best of success. But for those of you that like the idea of using other people's money, of optimizing your credit, of being proactive about your decisions, then please consider subscribing, and make sure you turn on those post notifications by selecting that bell when you do subscribe. It will alert you every time that we upload new information to the channel. We're also going to be doing some upcoming videos that talk a little bit more in detail about these debt weapons, just like we're doing here today and even beyond, so that you can figure out how to not just increase your cash flow exponentially, but how to live your ideal lifestyle. I can go anywhere at any time, stay for as long as I want. I can go with anyone I want, and most people don't have that type of freedom. So that's why I can take off and I can go to Utah. That's why I can go to North Carolina next week. Most of this we're working while we're there because we love to work. And an interesting thing happens when you don't need the money. You actually fall in love with your work more than you ever have before. So I want to invite you to check out all the videos on this channel. The debt weapons are just the vehicles or the tools that we use to fast track ourselves from point A and get to our desired destination of point B. So make sure you're seeing that math for yourself firsthand. And as you may have picked up on in this conversation, there are a lot of ins and outs to every single decision that you're making. And by connecting all the necessary dots, you're always going to do better by having a qualified set of eyes from an expert. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, visit the description below and schedule a free coaching session by clicking the link freecoachingcalendar.com. It'll walk you through the two options that are available today, which is you can take advantage of a free coaching session. I do want to thank you in advance for your patience on those free coaching sessions, as we are currently scheduling out quite a distance, 6 or 7 months at this point, all the way into October. Who cares? Whether you're starting in October or you're starting tomorrow is better than doing nothing. If you are anxious to get going right away and you don't want to wait, then snag one of the quick start vacancies that we have. We only have a limited supply each week. When they're gone, but there is absolutely no way to fail with that. Just check out the information in the link below. All of that will be available to you when prompted. So guys, go ahead and drop a like on this video if you want us to continue to make more of these episodes regarding debt weapons and how they can serve you, and you can get results like this yourself. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes consistency. If you believe you have all of those things, or you can have all of those things with a coach standing next to you, then we can't fail together. We look forward to being a part of your success, my friend. And until we see you on the next video or speak to you on the phone live, make it a great day today and take care.